Well, they put a new marker here because all they had was a rock with engravings which you couldn't read. So it's Robert Woods Hall from 1856 to 1935. Hey guys, it's really cool that I got my Jeep with me today. I know you haven't seen it in a while, but we're gonna go check out one of the squatchiest places that I've ever explored. But I've had a couple events here, the tree knocks, and a couple of other things have happened, which I'll tell you about when I get to those spots where things happened. It is pretty much the squatchiest place I've ever been to in Virginia. Now, there's some old log cabins out here, what's left of them, but there was plenty of wildlife and vegetation and water, so they probably prospered here for a pretty good while. As you can see, both sides of this path are elevated, more so on this side than that side. But when I'm sort of telling this in reverse, because once I get to the spot back there, I'll explain to you why I had to leave so quickly. But when I got to this spot up on this hill, I could hear footsteps, and over here on this side I could hear footsteps, and so I would stop and the steps would stop. And because at first I was like, man, is there coyotes? Are they sort of following me or something? But coyotes would make more noise, I think, than, you know, once you stop, they're not gonna stop. But so I don't know what it was, but it was just heavy steps on both sides of me as I'm going down through. This was the scariest part. And I actually called Bruce, and I actually called Tina at the time, just to let them know that, hey, if you don't hear from me in a while, this is where I am. So, but we're gonna trek on here a little ways. Ah, daggone. I just heard something that sounded like basically a squeaky screen door opening. Of course, that could be the wind. The wind is still pretty far up, but that was a weird sound. It was like, eh. So anyway, maybe we'll hear it again. I'll keep this on for just a minute. Now I just heard what sounded like a baby crying. That's too weird. Okay, so after I heard the baby crying, I walked maybe 40 yards and I saw these three girls. They were Mennonite girls. So they had the long dresses and their little bonnets, and I said, hey, do y'all have a baby or a kid with you? And they're like, no, we don't. I'm like, well, I was hoping you did, because and I told them, I said, because I heard like this baby crying, and so anyway, that was strange. But I talked to them. They were really sweet people. This is, I mean, deer usually leave little bigger tracks than that. That looks like a deer track. This place is, there's a ton of deer here. Usually every time I come, I see a deer, but anyway, back to yeah, you can see looks like deer track right here, see. So I would say that's what that was. And I guess, you know, a deer can make that kind of like baby sound, I guess. So if you're a deer hunter and you've heard that baby crying sound in the woods, let me know what you think that was. So the very first time where I had the tree knocks video, this is where I was, and I knocked on the tree, looks like probably this tree right here, 3 times, and then I kept walking, stood here for a few minutes, and I'll do that again. I'll stand here after I knock, see if I hear anything. And then when I heard the response back was on down this road. So I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna hit this tree 3 times. I hear crows. Now, and just like that, my GoPro was dead. I had 30% power. I know what was weird is, like, when I got out of the car, it was 90. I haven't been out here that long, and it's just been sucking the battery the whole time. And now, just as soon as I hit the tree knocks, told you it was quiet, it cut off on me. Okay, I just saw some movement in the woods. I'm gonna turn this around. Way back in there. This is the area, like right in there, right in there. Now I'm walking on. Stood there, I heard no response, so I'm gonna walk on. Guys, I've been out here a long time. And you can hear the trees creaking. But look at this. I've never seen this before. And then that right there. Let's walk over and check this out. And you got that. So if you look at, that was about my stick falling over. If you look at this, see this has been placed here. I think this was original, I think. You can see it's kind of broken over. Now I'm not saying it's anything, but it is some weird structures. I don't know. It could be wind and weather, because it's you know, it's just unexplainable. All right, this is about where I was. I'm gonna turn it around. Now you can hear the wind blowing today. See a few limbs blowing. This is where I got the response. Now on the other side of that hill, which I have never walked in here, but I'm going to do it right now. Just hang on. I wish I had my GoPro. You can see that, look at the needles, how pressed down they are. That one's not, but these are. Something's walked here. Very heavy. Look at this. Smashing up these sticks. Like I said, I've never been walking through here. I'm doing that right now, so kind of crazy. The wind has really picked up, but man, it amazes me how packed down these needles are. Surely there's a lot of animals through here. Bear, deer. A lot of young saplings. I just want to get to the crest of this. I hear crows squawking. I'm gonna keep it focused on my back a little bit. So, just like I suspected, it's just nothing but woods. I don't know if you can make that out, but all right. It goes from here's to where my heel is to about right there. So it has to be 15, 16 inches. Big step. It's hard to make out too much here. It is hard to make out steps because there's so much pine needles, but that one was pretty clear. Look at this on the tree. Is this like from some kind of bug that makes all these designs? It's a big tree. All the bark's been moved off from here to there. And then you see these marks. If anybody's watching, if they know of like a bug or something, because remember when I was in Uwari, I picked up a stick, not real big, about this in width, and it had a bunch of those same kind of markings that this tree does. I mean, that's a big tree. I'm glad I walked down in here. So, but I'm gonna head on back to the path and head up to the log cabin structures. Holy smokes, what was that? Whoa. Guys, this log has been placed here, as you can see. This log, it might have broken here. I don't know. But it goes on up here like that. Then you got another log going across. That could all be nature. I mean, nature can do some crazy stuff, but I need Long Island Bigfoot to watch this video and comment and tell me what he thinks. I'd love to get him out here and check this area out. Started to hop over the logs and walk across there, but I'm like, hey, I'm triangle. No. So my way out around this way. Okay, so I'm back on the path, but that is where all this area, that's where the tree knocks came from. And it disturbs me because I hear no sounds now. Nothing. There's one log cabin over here, and I'm gonna right there. Holy smokes, guys. That is one. Now here's, I think that's where, look at my foot. And look where this impression is. Look at these toes up here. You can see the toes. There's one. Wow. You would think there would be another step somewhere. Could be that, but it's just leaves are matted down. It may not look like much on the camera because it's not in 3D, but when you're out here with the naked eye and you see something like that, it's just, it blows your mind. All right, so this is remains of a cabin from the 1700s or 1800s. Let's check it out. See on the back wall some very like stained, fire stained wood. Which I would imagine that was part of the demise. Put a new marker here because all they had was a rock with engravings which you couldn't read. It says Robert Woods Hall from 1856 to 1935. And here's another marker, but we don't know who that is. I would imagine this was probably a child. And here's Emily Hall, 1865 to 1930. The Halls, what remains of their house is just right up this way. I'm gonna walk over there right now. So these are the remains of the Hall house. Nice fireplace. But everything else is pretty much gone. As you can see, now that's the corner of the house. And here's the other corner, and then there's the fireplace. Okay, so it's pretty interesting that the Halls lived out here. It's just hard to imagine what happened to them.
The fall is coming, I can feel it. The breeze brings brings goosebumps to my skin. Tonight the whiskey feels stronger. Gasoline on hidden desires. So I'll throw
I know I still got to tell you about the time that I left in a hurry. So, as I was saying down there, the crow's going off. But anyway, as I was saying down there, right when I was visiting the cemetery, the Hall Cemetery, when all of a sudden I heard this really loud thump. And I'm between the cemetery and the what remains of the Hall's house. I mean, it was like somebody had taken a 500-pound boulder and just slammed it on the ground. It shook the ground, and I turned around where I thought was behind me, and I looked, there was nothing there, and I looked all around these woods, and I was like, man, what in the heck? And then I heard this, you know, as soon as the thump came, I also heard like, you know, so I'm thinking, is that a bear? It's got to be a bear. I haven't seen a black bear here, but I know there's plenty of black bear around here. And so I just decided, man, it is time to leave. And so I did. I mean, oh, before I finish the story, I did bring something to toast the Halls, and I thought that it was only fitting that I bring 1870 Old Forester. So 1870 Old Forester obviously fits because they lived from 1835 to about 1930. They had good long lives, or 1850 or whatever to 1930, something like that. So then, let me get my little glass out of here so I can pour me a sip. Let's see if this thing still has a pop. I've had this bottle for a while. Oh, very nice, very nice. And man, that smells good. Put just a little bit in here. And yeah, I'm crazy for carrying this out here, but I thought it was fitting to come out here, toast the Halls with some Old Forester. So back to the story. So I left. I mean, I would say it's probably close to 2 miles from where we were. So I had 2 miles to get out of here, 1.5 miles, 2 miles, something like that. And So the whole time I just felt like I was being watched, and it was just like something or something, maybe just my feelings, but I had this overwhelming feeling that was saying you need to leave. When you get that feeling, you leave. And that's what I did. I left. I had this overwhelming feeling, and I just left because something was telling me, or maybe I was just telling myself, that I had to leave. When I heard that big thump and that grunt, I knew it was time to go. And so that was crazy. Then I showed you the path where I felt like they were on both sides of this hill back there. That was the first thing I showed you when I was walking in here. So I apologize for this being a long video, but gosh, 1870. Wow. Man, the oakiness and this, it has like this, like a burnt chocolate caramel taste to it, which is the oakiness and that caramel and sort of chocolate, a little bit of fruity coming out of there. Guys, 1870 Old Forester, you better get you some of this. This stuff is really good. Cheers to the Halls and their family. I'm sure there's plenty of the Hall family members that are still here. This is really good. And this has been a really good day. The winds have blown out all the kind of treacherous looking clouds. It has been very calm. Usually I'll see deer. I hadn't seen a deer. Hadn't seen anything. Heard a bunch of crows squawking. Just a neat place.
Being gentle with how we feel. There's a charge in the room. I can feel all the fire rising. I'll handle with care. We will honor this tender space, giving time to let go. Peace comes as we pause.